This is easy. What do we even like? It's Arizona.
Arizona?
It's Arizona.
I'm not.
They won at Duke.
Okay.
I get Duke hasn't been phenomenal, but you win at Cameron.
There's two conversations to have here.
Yeah.
Arizona should be ranked number one in the country.
That's right.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Are they the best team in the country?
I don't think they're necessarily the best team. Again, I'm not sure there is a best team yet. I don't know if there is one.
All right,
I want to see
this.
Houston more. I want to see a little more.
I have another fun exercise for you. I'm going to roll through the top teams on KenPom, and I want you to tell me how deep we have to go before we get out of the top tier.
By the way, you're going to read through the top 10 in KenPom, and people are going to laugh.
Yeah, well, BYU is at number 6, and I was going to skip over BYU. I love BYU, but sorry, Mark Pope. Houston, top tier.
You don't like Mormons? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that why you're skipping over BYU?
Okay. Houston, Houston is a top tier team in college basketball. I'm not going to dignify that with the response. Houston, yes.
Yes, they're obviously in that equation.
Purdue, yes.
Yes, but they have a loss now.
Arizona, yes.
And they have a bad loss. Maybe not bad, but not a great
So are
loss.
they not? Are you saying Purdue's not the top tier in college basketball?
I don't think.
I just want to know how deep this top tier goes.
Of course they're in the top tier, yes. Again, you're saying don't worry about the resume. You're just saying like
who are the best teams in college basketball?
Yes,
the top
Houston,
tier. Let's call
Purdue,
them
Arizona.
Here's what we'll do. We'll call them the national
UConn.
title favorites. UConn.
Yes.
Marquette.
Yes.
Baylor.
I'm not ready there. I'm not ready.
Kansas.
Yes.
Tennessee.
No.
Gonzaga.
No.
North Carolina. I'm close.
I'm
close
really
too.
Close. They're
really
close. They're knocking on the door.
Kentucky.
Yeah, they're there.
I'm there with them.
Yeah, you got to be.
I'm going to say Creighton, no. I'm going to say Duke, no. I'm going to say Auburn, no. I'm going to say Alabama, no. And this is the one I wanted to get to. Florida Atlantic.
Yes, I've been saying it. I've been all over them. You know, sometimes, again, when you – and I know it's against Liberty. So, again, maybe I should slow my roll a little bit. But they got to the Final Four last year with this team.
But we saw them do it against Virginia Tech, and we know what Virginia Tech is.
And
we saw
Texas
them.
A&M.
We saw them beat Texas A&M,
right?
And we know what Texas A&M is.
I just look at them and I'm like, man, these dudes have so many guys who can hurt you, and they have guys who have been there and done that. And Elijah
but it's not
Martin,
just so many guys that can hurt you. It is they are well coached. They are well drilled. They run their stuff offensively. They run their stuff defensively. They do all of that. They have a center that is 7'1" that you have to double team.
Yeah.
You can't go one-on-one against them.
Yeah.
They have two guys on the perimeter in Janelle Davis and Elijah Martin that are, I don't know if you want to call them NBA guys. I don't know if you want to call them future draft picks, but they are very much in that conversation, right? They are good enough to be in the mix for NBA stuff when it moves forward, and you need two guys like that, right? They have point guards. They have depth. They have shooting. And they have positional size everywhere. So when you look at them, you know what stood out to me more than anything else in the game against Liberty was, like, you can watch this stuff on tape and you can watch them on film, but then when you sit courtside and you see what Brian Greenshee looks like next to the point guard from Liberty, right? Yeah. You see what a guy like Elijah Martin, who is 6'3" and built like a Mack truck. Like, I don't know how they let that dude get away from the football field, right? And next to Liberty's best player, Kyle Rode, who's like a power forward, and he's like 2 inches shorter and wider and broader and stronger. Like, when you see them in person next to the best mid-major teams, that's when you say, okay, that ain't a mid-major.
Rob, there's two teams that if you told me right now I had to pay $100 to go watch play, there's two teams that I would pay $100 to watch right now. You know who they are?
FAU and Kentucky.
You got it. You got it.
All right, so that's what you have right here. The top tier in college basketball is 9 deep. This is what we've come up with. Houston, Purdue, Arizona, UConn, Marquette, Kansas, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Florida Atlantic.
And again,
if you want to say a 10
Carolina's like they're like 9. They're like there's 8 to me.
I will be ready to put them there when they are if they improve defensively. If they
Yeah,
get to the point where it's like instead of giving
wanna see a little more.
up 92 to Tennessee, maybe you give up like 80 to Tennessee,
or
right?
maybe
you give up
try
80.
Try to have somebody that can maybe guard Dalton Connect a little bit.
All right, listen. We got about 3 minutes left here on Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure you switch over to Stadium. We're going to be jumping over there. Last call. Get in the chat. Ask us questions. You know
who's not in my top tier anymore?
We hit up Duffy's. They had 2-for-1 drinks. We'll answer anything you guys throw at us.
Hey, you know who's not in my top tier anymore?
Who?
St. Mary's.
You know who's not in my top tier anymore?
Who?
You.
Hey,
Let's get into toast of the
mean.
night. Let's get into toast of the night.
That's
before
me.
we get going. It's
How
the
is
second,
St. Mary's doing, by the way? They're only down 7.
It
I
is
mean,
the
that's good for
second
them.
night of the Field of 68
It's really
tip-off.
good.
San Diego State also found a way to win when they were down by 10 earlier, which is great for the Mountain West Insider Podcast. There's a plug for you right there.
Yeah, they won by
Toast.
1 over UCSD.
Can you give me the toast of the night? Damn.
Yeah, yeah, I can give it to you.
This is if you guys ever want to know what it's like being inside an ADD brain, spend 5 minutes with him.